Hello, welcome back. This is continuing on with the mix. Today we're going to concentrate mainly on the guitars. We're mainly going to mess around with them, but obviously within that we will have to push and squeeze some of the other things around as we go along. Not touching the vocals yet. Today is guitar day. So in the previous episode, we have already kind of searched for the tone. So we are happy with the tone we're getting from the guitars. Okay. To be clear, this is still running through Amplitude. So we've not kind of printed the guitar tone yet. We are going to do that right at the end because we might want to make slight chops and changes to the guitar tone near the end once we've got all the other things kind of locked in. So today is how do we compress them, how do we bus them, how do we EQ them, etc, etc. And we're going to do that without the bass, but keeping the bass in mind. I think that's important. I think the guitars sound great. There will be some issues here and there when it comes to palm muting, where there will be like a flubby bass build-up. There will be maybe some frequency issues here and there. So what we're going to do is, as you can see, we've got left rhythm with harmonies, right rhythm with harmonies. Then we've got a lead as well, and you'll see here at the back end, these are basically just recordings of feedback, and the way they were recorded, please refer to some of my older videos, and I'll try and put some links in how to record the DI track, how to record and how to be able to get good feedback through your amp but actually record the DI track, etc, etc. Essentially what you do is you plug your guitar. I'm going to say this quick because it's probably helpful. You plug your guitar into your DI, the DI into your interface into your computer as normal, record your track, but you use your connection, your link output from your DI box, and you put that into your amp, and you put your amp on with drive pedals and whatever you feel like. Put the volume up so you can get some feedback for your guitar, because that goes back into your pickups and it through your strings. I mean, that's what feedback really is. It's just strings revibrating from the vibrations of the air and the speaker. So you get a proper DI tone of feedback, and you can hear it here. That's not some artificial feedback or feedback through the monitor speakers or anything. That's feedback through the amp. So most of the guitar was recorded DI straight, but then certain places where I wanted the feedback, I used this method through the amp. If you're recording things in the house like this and you've got neighbors and all that, it means that you limit the amount of time that you're making a lot of noise through your amp. Okay, so where do we start? So I like to have all my guitar tracks bussed, even the lead. And the reason I like to do that is because how do I put this? The way that it then goes through the bus and is compressed is all similar. So even the lead is affected, but in the same way. So it all kind of gels a little bit better. So all we do is we add a new track. We call this guitar aux. I make it roughly the same color. In this case, I'm just going to make it the same color. And then you do this in your DAW any which way you want. But basically, I'm going to take each one of these tracks and route them through the guitar master track, which is the guitar aux. and switch all their master sends off. So the only place this signal goes is through the aux tracks, through the master bus for guitar. And only through there does it then go to the master bus itself. So in Reaper, you just click on, so you'll see there's like a little white line here. The top ones are for your effects, the bottom ones are for your sends and receives. So we're gonna switch off the master send, and we send this one to guitar aux. And we literally now just have to drag and drop these in. So that's all the sends done. However, as you can see here, these 4 are still sent to the master. So we're gonna just select them, right click on the sends and switch the master off. So now all the master sends are off. They're all sending purely towards the guitar aux. So let us solo that. What I'm doing here is just making them all unity again. We're just doing a bit of gain staging, making sure that nothing peaks but is of a good volume. Now you can hear there's a harmony that starts to appear right here, left, and then in the second bar here on the right. And I want that to be a bit clearer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these two, which they live in, push them up a bit. So that is kind of basically that. I want to not peak anything. Now you'll notice that I've got no effects on my master bus. I've got no compression, no limiting, none of that just yet. I want to get as good as possible in all the different sections before I start applying that. So another thing we're going to do in this mixing is try, and we can do everything with kind of transparent and open effects, compressions and stuff like that. No bother, right? But to get a little bit of life into the mix and sound a little bit more analog and lifelike, and introduce some harmonics and natural distortion, there are plugins that help do that. They are kind of SSL and Neve kind of preamp emulators, and there's all this kind of stuff, that or tube emulators and all this kind of stuff. So we're gonna sensitively apply some of these. For quickness, I'm gonna apply some of that to the master bus of the guitar. So the first thing I'm gonna do is the way I like to play it is I try to get a good sound as possible from each instrument, vocal and drum. Then I'm going to take a transparent and open EQ to fix any obvious issues. So for example, in this case, I'm going to take an EQ and I'm just going to check if there's any problems here in the guitar tone. So here, I know there's some palm muting. As you can see, I'm always trying to gain stage. I'm making sure that these levels here are not peaking, and that my master is my guitar aux is not peaking. In those palm mutes, you can already hear there is some build-up happening, so we're gonna have to deal with that. Now, this is just basic cleanup, but we want to introduce a little bit of a tone to this. So we're going to go to Audio Salt, and we're going to take this Freak EQ. And this is basically a desk EQ mimicker. Got some filtering, high low passing, and then all the normal kind of staging. And what happens is it tries to introduce the transformer kind of overtones and harmonics that happen within a desk. So I'm going to take electric guitar 2 and play this back. Now this is going to completely change the tone. And as you can hear, it makes it kind of shrill, because it kind of, this is just a preset. It just, you know, does a attempt at EQing for electric guitar. So there's a couple of things I already noticed. I don't want it to cut off that low, because I'm already cutting low, so I can bring the filter, the low pass. This one doesn't have to be that high. The other thing I like to do is I don't have to use its complete tone here. I can now dial out the amount or that this affects. You can do this in most DAWs. So I can use this little knob here to actually tell Reaper how much of the effect that this is making is actually affecting my track. So I'm going to turn it all the way down. It's kind of like half bypassing, or knowing how much to bypass. This is the original. To me, for now, that sounds good. The only other thing that I might do is actually put another thing on top of this, which I really like. I like putting tape emulation on everything. I'm actually going to use this. Air Windows is a great guy. He makes plugins. Really, really interesting guy. So this brings in console drive. And I've not tried this. I'm going to try this here. So basically, those harmonics and beautiful sounds that they always talk about from the 70s and 80s, you know, recording through SSLs and Neves. So you can actually choose the console, Neve, API, SSL. I'm going to use the Neve, and we can mimic the drive. Okay, I don't like that. It's actually introducing like an ugly distortion in there, which I don't like. So what we'll do is we'll put the tape in. And to me, that is fine for now. So I'm happy with that. The next episode will be the bass, and we'll get on with that. Okay, ta.